Yay Networks.
Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sybil, and I can't wait for you to hear all of the Great Girlfriend magic on today's show. So without further ado, grab something great to drink, grab your pen and your paper, and get ready for this week's episode. Enjoy! Happy Wednesday, Great Girlfriends. It's Sybil here. I hope you're having a marvelous summer. I know I say that every week. I'm probably going to say it in winter, actually, because why not pretend you're in summer when you hit winter? I'm always hopeful that you're enjoying your summer or your time with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones. I got to tell you, the most beautiful sounds are happening in my house. The kids are home. And what would have been noise in the 80s, you remember when your parents were always like, cut out all that noise? That was me and my sisters. They were always telling us to turn it down. It's like the sound of joy and love in my house. And I mean that with my whole heart. I absolutely get a whole kick out of my kids making all the sounds all day long. And I know that it's not going to last long because Sam is going into 10th grade, y'all. I know it's hard to believe, but he's a 10th grader. And so I only have officially 2 more summers, with him before he's heading off to college. So I'm just soaking up all the sound of summer. That's what I'm going to call it. It's the sound of summer that's happening in my house. And I also want to take this moment to celebrate my intern for the day. Dylan Kyle Amudi is here with me in the studio. Woo! Hey, girl. Hey. She's over in the corner looking all cute. She is a paid intern, so I do have her working aggressively today. But I'm just glad that she's able to be here with me for the show and record her motivational minutes. And I hope you've been enjoying her motivational minutes because it's been a pleasure to watch her record them and get the really good coaching that she's been getting from Casey. Shout out to Casey for helping Dylan get all those butterflies out of her chest and out of her throat and get those motivational minutes out. So if you've been loving the podcast over the past few months, we've had some incredible guests on, and it's been an exciting time I've been listening, and I'm like, dang, I can't leave any more iTunes reviews. I don't have enough phones. I literally am out of phones. I'm out of profiles on Apple, but you can actually leave your iTunes review. I just need you to go over to Apple. Plain and simple. When you select the podcast, while you're listening, you want to scroll down, and there's an option to leave a review. That's where you want to write all the amazing things that you love about the Great Girlfriends podcast. And here's why you want to write those reviews. Because other people are searching for podcasts. And when they see your reviews, they believe you. Just like when you go on Yelp and you read the reviews, you go on Amazon and you see a product and you want to check the reviews. The more reviews that you leave the more frequently you leave reviews, the more people have an appetite for the Great Girlfriend show, the more great girlfriendship we're spreading around the world. Everyone's happy. Dylan's not crying. I'm not crying. Casey's happy. And the world is a better place. So I'm inviting you to do that today. Take literally under a minute and leave a really great review. And I promise you, it means the world to us to see your reviews. And I want to thank everyone who's already left a review. But if you have other devices in your house, you can go leave her another review. Why not drop 5 stars in a review? I'm just saying. And while you're at it, I want to thank everyone who's been purchasing our affirmation cards. Our Love Thyself affirmation cards have been selling so well. I don't have any in the studio today because we're getting new shipments in because we have sold out. So if you haven't ordered already, please do order your affirmation cards. It's such a great way for you to start your day. It's a great way for you to reconnect and plug and tap into your spirit, take some time to yourself and really replenish. In my self-care time, I have a prayer closet now that I go into with my journal. I got my board, and I find one card that really speaks to where I need to be, not where I am, but where I need to be. Something that's speaking life or resuscitating my spirit or reinvigorating, I should say, my spirit. And I just write about what that card means to me. And I find that it's feeding me. It's feeding me every single day to do that. And we get so many great emails from people who are using the cards or even sending a card to a friend who is feeling low or posting them, in their bathroom or in their journals, just using the cards as a guide, a way to really build that esteem that you need to have, because we're doing a lot, but we deserve to feel great and to know that we're great at all times. So go to thegreatgirlfriends.com/shop And there you can get the cards, you can get your journal, you can get a great candle, you can get the sweatshirt, you can get all the things and have your whole great girlfriend experience with your bestie who should be you, right? And then everyone else gets to benefit from you being a bestie with your bestie. So there's that part. And do not forget while you're shopping to go ahead and shop for your great girlfriend, because why not, right? I'm always shopping for my great girlfriends, and I think all my great girlfriends have the cards and the sweatshirts and all the things. They're out here looking like full great girlfriend cheerleaders, but you can do the same thing. So go to thegreatgirlfriends.com/shop and order your affirmation cards, order your journal, order your candles. My favorite of the 2 candles right now is group texts, and it's because my group texts are insanely hilarious over summer. I don't know why my girlfriends get funnier in the summertime, but they do. And so my group text candle really does speak to like the spirit of my crazy group texts that are happening right now. So I just want to share that one with you. That's the one that has been burning the most in my house. And the signature Great Girlfriend candle is so rich and decadent. I love it in the winter. So if you're prepping to have something soothing that's got some great wood and vanilla and all those really rich, sultry scents, then you want to do that. But if you're like on this comic trip like I am with my great girlfriends, then you want to have that group text candle burning while you're texting back and laughing and going to click all the links of all the crazy stuff that they're sending. Or maybe that's just my text thread. I don't know. But anyway, Great Girlfriends, thegreatgirlfriends.com/shop. So we're in the thick of the heat and in the thick of the summer. And when I come home every day, I am so exhausted. And you know how when you've got a ton of people in your house during the day and they're eating every little thing, you feel like you're kind of a slave to the kitchen. At least that's how I feel. And so I'm always looking for ways to make my life more easy. And I'm looking for ways to include my kids in the process of doing that. And the church said, amen. So I am excited because I have introduced HelloFresh to my household, and all I can say is hello happy, hello freedom, hello time saving, hello soft life. HelloFresh gives the best meals. First of all, they are farm fresh, delivered right to the doorstep meals that are crafted and cut down, pre-portioned ingredients specifically sized for your family or whatever you request. And these recipes are amazing. I'm getting my whole life in the kitchen because I'm not in there all day, and because I have something simple that my kids can actually prepare on their own, and I get to come in the kitchen and just eat and enjoy it. And I'm happy. And, you know, at the end of the day, when you have that fatigue, the last thing you want to do is have to think of a really great meal or have to think of a recipe. So shout out to HelloFresh for making my life easy and giving me the option of having what I feel is fine cuisine right from my very own kitchen, hands free, because my kids will make it or my husband will make it, or even I'll step in from time to time. But I no longer have to be the only one preparing the food and the only one with the recipe. The other thing that I love is not only do they give you pre-portioned ingredients, I mean, y'all, seasoning included, okay? So it's like, it's all prepared, but they also give you the recipes on these really pretty recipe cards. So I actually have about 10 new recipes in our family rotation that I'm able to use from time to time. And so my kids now, if they ever want to have something, they know how to pick up the recipe card, put the ingredients together and make it happen. So I know that I'm not the only one who wants to feel free and happy and have the soft life in the kitchen. I know I'm not the only one. I also know I'm not the only one who would like to have pre-portioned ingredients so you're not wasting food come right to the door, where you can set up the entire meal in literally under 20 minutes or so and have something that is fresh, that is amazing, that's healthy, right? And that's satisfying to the entire family. So I figured I would include you all in it. And it's super simple. I know that you want to save time. I know you want to have fresh recipes. I know you want to make your cooking easy and fast. So go to HelloFresh.com/girlfriends50 and use the code girlfriends50 for 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/girlfriends50 and use code girlfriends50 for 50% off plus free shipping. You will not want to miss out on this. I'm talking America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh, which equals hello happy, hello freedom, hello soft life. Enjoy. This week, I wanted to tap into something really quickly with you all. And it's come up a lot in our Great Girlfriends group on Facebook. If you're not a member, jump into that as well. And we've been talking a lot about friendship. Because we're the Great Girlfriends community, we get all the DMs about what should I do? How should I react? What if this happens? What are the signs? All relative to friendship. And we have these really great discussions going on in the Facebook group. And, we're sending DMs, and I feel like one of the things we need to bring back to the podcast is asking for a friend, which was just a little series we did about, anonymous questions that great girlfriends send in about things that are happening in their life. And they really just want the advice of a great girlfriend. And so right now, the most buzzing, popular topic in our Facebook group is around signs that a friendship is ending. And I don't know if it's just like, you didn't get invited on the trip this summer, or you didn't make it to the second, third group text, or, people are just evolving in relationships because as seasons change, so do relationships change. This has become like a very, very popular topic and relatable to me and so many people that are listening, where you find that the relationships are shifting. And, a lot of times you see something, but you don't want to know, like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? I'm feeling it, but am I really feeling it? And so you're not clear because you want to give a relationship or the person that you're in a relationship with the benefit of the doubt. And you want to believe the best about a relationship, as we should when we love people. However, there are some signs that relationships or friendships are ending or coming to a shift. Because as the world turns, again, so do these relationships. And we want to be able to we want to be able to see these things and embrace it. We don't always like the things that are happening to us in life, but we do need to be at a point of maturity where we can embrace the changes and be okay with a shift happening. There's so many times that we find ourselves fighting for something that is not worth the fight. Right? Or you find yourself in the ring alone. You're fighting for something and there's no one fighting with you because things have evolved. And there's always, there's also a part of us that wants what we had before. A lot of times in our relationships, we want yesterday's relationship because it felt so strong. It was warm. It was fuzzy. It was beautiful. But today the relationship looks very different, and we have to be willing to see it, acknowledge it, and then make choices that allow us to still have power over our decisions, never over the other person's decision, because you cannot control your great girlfriends. Okay, that's an update for somebody who thought you could run your great girlfriends. You cannot control them, but you can make empowering choices for yourself to support yourself. So I want to give you a few things about friendship first. And then I want to talk to you about some signs that are ending. And then I want to give you a lot of the feedback that came from our Facebook group around signs that a friendship is ending or evolving. And so I know you got your pen and paper out. Take these notes because they're super important. And then as you start to listen in, really start thinking about, am I the one closing out a friendship, or am I subject to it, right? So kind of figure out where you're sitting in this scenario. Or if it doesn't apply to you, but it's a friend that you know that's going through it, go ahead and forward her this episode and say, girl, get in there because this one is just for you. So here's some things that you want to remember about friendship that's super important. Number one, friendships should be nourishing and desirable. You should not be hungry for another friend in a friendship. I should not sit in a friendship with Casey, who's my producer, who is my great girlfriend in my head, but be longing for more or longing for another friendship. There should be something satisfying about the relationship that you're in when you're with in a friendship, when you're with your great girlfriend. It should be nourishing and replenishing to your soul. Like in a friendship, when I say desirable, I want to be there. We want to be in a friendship. When you're in a friendship with someone, it should be a place where you both want to be. Like my friendship should feel like a destination that is such an oasis, right? It's a rich and it's a nourishing place. And that means that I'm coming with my nourishment and I'm coming to receive nourishment. But it's a mutually desirable destination, right? So I shouldn't be in friendship and still be craving for things that my friend can't offer. If I'm with a friend, I am fully in friendship with that person and I'm accepting of what they offer and I'm good with what they bring to the table, right? So there shouldn't be deficiency in that relationship. And another thing to remember is that your friendship with one person should not be contingent upon your relationship with someone else that is tied to that person, right? So if I'm in a friendship with person A and I met them through person B, my friendship with person A is my friendship with person A. Back in third grade, I needed B to be in friendship with A, but I don't need that as a woman who is fully developed and mature and has high emotional intelligence. I'm capable in friendship of having a relationship, a solo relationship with someone that is not dependent upon how the relationship moves with another person. I think it's really important to remember that, because a lot of times we feel like we have to do these trio friendships or these duo friendships or these quads because we may have met in one place. But in relationship, you meet in one place and then you evolve or grow or dissolve to another place, right? And so you got to be safe enough and mature enough. And I go back to maturity because this conversation is for grown women who really want to have great girlfriendships, who want to celebrate them, but who also want to be aware of your positioning in a relationship. You have to be mature enough to know that you start in one place and relationships move to another level, and they don't move as a unit. You're not an army. It's not an army. Sometimes you're just moving in a solo relationship with another person and you're evolving there, and that's got to be okay. But don't ever think that you need to have the acceptance or approval of another person to be friends with anyone. That's toxic. All right. Third thing you want to remember is that, well, we said this before, but friendship is mutually beneficial. It's got to be mutually beneficial. If you're in a relationship with someone and you're constantly giving, and you look up and you can't get them on the phone, that is a problem. If you're in a friendship with a person and you realize that they're constantly leaning on you, they're constantly leaning on you for advice, they're leaning on you for money, they're leaning on you for support, but you can't get an answer for one question that you have in the relationship, that is a whole problem. If you realize that you're in a relationship where you're giving, and you're not getting anything in return that supports you, that is a problem. It should be mutually beneficial to be in a relationship. There should be a valuable exchange. There will be times in friendship where one person leans heavier than another, but that should not be the model of the entire relationship. The model of the entire relationship says that we meet at a table and we share value in a space. And in that space where we're sharing value, it's a sacred space where we're putting our resources together, and whoever needs to pull from the resources pulls, right? And whoever needs to give more gives. But it's mutually beneficial for for two parties to be in the friendship. That's super important, that you're not in a friendship or a relationship that you're calling a friendship where you're constantly pouring in in an effort to earn someone's relationship. That's not the way friendship works, and you will find yourself depleted at the end, keyword, at the end of that relationship. The next thing you want to remember about friendship is that friendships can evolve, and we have to be okay with the evolution. That's what we're talking about today, the signs that friendships have come to an end. That evolution can be painful. It can be painful. It can feel like you lost your arm. It can feel like you were abandoned. It can actually trigger abandonment issues or issues of rejection or things that you've dealt with in your past. But dealing with an evolution or an ending in friendship has to be okay. Sometimes it's for your protection that people walk away. Sometimes when people walk away in relationships, it's the healthiest choice that a person could have made for you because they would have been damaged to your next chapter. Sometimes in a friendship, when people walk away or when they decide they want to separate themselves from you and you think they're extracting value, they're adding more value than you could ever realize in that moment. So if you just trust that it's okay, and if you trust that things are always going to work for your good, and if you trust that God is always going to present the right people to you at the right time, what you'll recognize is what seemed like pain was actually purpose for your next chapter. And in order for you to elevate, in order for you to step to the next place in any of your relationships, you have to have a stepping stone, or you have to have a stair step. And underneath that stair step is a whole bunch of stuff and people and things that were set apart to do something bad for you. But God will use all of those things and people to do something good for you. So you have to realize, under your stair. Be willing to put something under your stair so you can step to the next level in your relationships, period. And I do think that as we walk into evolutions in friendships, we recognize that there were so many things that we needed to learn in a relationship that we would have only learned when the relationships have dissolved. So it's important for us to be available to the lessons that are coming before us. So right now, if you're in the middle of an ending, you're probably thinking, this is painful. This hurts. I feel dejected. I feel abandoned. I feel hurt. I feel like I didn't get everything I deserved out of that relationship. And part of those feelings are true, but the majority of it is that there is a huge lesson that is available to you right now that you can utilize to be beneficial to the relationships that are in place. So if you just take the time to stop and assess, yes, I feel what I feel, but what are the lessons? What are the lessons that I need to lean into right now so I can be the best version of myself in my existing relationships and the relationships that are to come? Because you have not met all the amazing people that are going to be a part of your life. You just haven't. There are so many wonderful, marvelous, great girlfriends coming your way. You've not met them yet. You don't know them. You ain't even been out to Home Goods with them yet. You haven't been to TJ Maxx. Y'all haven't had sushi together. You haven't done a trip. Okay. They're coming. So you have to get excited about that there is so much more in store for you. There's more in store for you. And you can't look at what's ending as an insufficiency or a lack. It is not. It is an opening. It's a gateway for new opportunities, for fresh relationships that are meant to serve where you're going. So I also want to leave you with this to remember: someone can be good for someone else, but toxic for you. All of us, great girlfriends around the world, have traits that are good, bad, and ugly. And some of the traits that are, some of the people that are in my life are good for me, but they may be toxic for someone else. So don't think that because someone is a wonderful person, their friendship with you can't be toxic. There are sometimes in a relationship where the oil and water just don't mix, or the chemistry of the two people is off. And so that imbalance means that the relationship has to end. Why? Because what is good for someone else might be toxic for you. And you've got to be okay with that. All right. So I hope that gives you a little bit of something to eat off of. Now, I want to give you some signs that friendship is ending. And I also want to share with you what our Facebook group had to say. Actually, I'm going to share that part with you first, because the great girlfriends went in, y'all. When I say they went in, I was like, oh, y'all got a lot to say about this. And I thought it was really helpful for women in the group to be able to see what other women are experiencing and understand what it feels like, so that you know you're not alone and you understand that the experience happens to everyone. So Erica Arika Dunlap said, when they no longer need you to fill their cup, when phone calls stop, when your elevation stops being a genuine celebration, when they drain you, when they allow others to talk negatively about you in their presence, that's when she knows that a friendship has come to an end. I love that, Erica. Those are very valuable signs and signals. Delphine Rogers Newsom said, when they lie to you, they want you to share what you plan to do, but don't encourage you or celebrate your accomplishments. She better preach. Lying to me is like the biggest, flat foot no. Never ever, actually let me not say that. You can lie to me. Don't make it a habit. Don't make it a habit. And then when I find out you lying, take ownership. All right. That's all I got to say. Cecilia Nelson Hurt says, everything has a season. It's okay for relationships to serve their purpose and then evolve. The challenge is when we think we're supposed to keep the same circle throughout our lives. Yes, some friends will evolve and remain as main characters in our life, while others should be allowed to fade to the background. Your friendships may also reflect the stage of life that you're in. Examples given: single, married, with children, etc. For me, signs that a friendship has run its course include when you're the one making the effort to maintain communication and relationship. Hello, can't catch my friend? I'm calling and no one's okay. When they cannot authentically be happy for your wins, even if it's during a time when they're in a valley season. So this is what their clap looked like. It's like, yay, there she go winning again. Like that hater clap, right? It's like that, right? Or it's that clap where they can't even fake the smile. They're like, I'm clapping because I'm supposed to clap, but not because I even really feel this, because in the back of their mind, they're going, when is it my turn? Right? That is not good for you. Or when you find yourself not wanting to share details of your life that you would have normally shared. Or, last but not least, she says, trust your gut, trust your instincts. You usually know when it's time. Dynell Skinner says, when you're the only one making the efforts to check in, you also notice when you stop making the effort, all communication stop. It's like radio silence. You're like, yo, where are my people? All right. Chanel Chrissy D says, communication comes strained, interactions awkward, things go unsaid, communications totally shut down. If you start to get these vibes, something is up. I couldn't agree more. Henrietta Muse says, no responses to your text, emails, or phone call. As the song says, face it, girl, it's over. Right. And Canary and Kindred says, sometimes it's as simple as naturally growing apart. I was in Walmart a few years ago when I ran into someone. We spoke and kept going in our current directions. On the outside looking in, you would never know this is someone I used to hang with since the 4th grade. We're not enemies at all. We're just grown and grew apart years ago, and that's okay. I'm not going to give all of these to you. You're going to have to go into the Great Girlfriends Facebook group and read the rest of these because they're very, very clear signs. But here are my 4 for you. And then I promise you're going to take this episode and spread it wide and share it with all your great girlfriends and use it for like a separate group text thread as you need to. All right. If you're asking this question, is this friendship coming to an end? I have news for you. It's probably coming to a close. Normally, you know who your people are because you can feel their presence, you feel the sense of connection, and you are completely intertwined in their lives. And so if you're asking this question, is the friendship coming to an end? More than likely, it is in its closing season, and it's just a matter of time before it comes to a close. Number 2, when 2 people aren't getting what they want out of a relationship, again, you're not getting what you want out of the relationship, but they're getting everything they want, or you're getting everything you want, but they're not getting what they want. And you don't feel like it's yours to give them, right? You feel like you feel like you don't owe them what they're asking for in their relationship. It's probably coming to an end, right? Or when you find yourself wanting more than the relationship can offer. You've been surface friends for a while. You're ready to take the relationship to the next level, but that relationship doesn't qualify for the next level. It's probably coming to the end. And it's okay to want more out of relationships. Sometimes it's not okay to ask it from people who can't give it to you, right? Or last but not least, when your boundaries are constantly being pushed and your standards are being tested. I personally believe that boundaries are in place to protect standards, right? And we put our boundaries in place because we find that people constantly want to test our standards, and we need to remind them of what our standards are. So we put up these boundaries. And so when you find that when your boundaries are being pushed, like people want to shove past your boundary, they want to be the exception to your standards, most of the time those relationships will come to a close, if not rapidly, slowly but surely. And so you may have some other signs that relationships are coming to an end, and we'd love to know what they are. We could go on and on about this because relationships have so many different layers, different timetables, different chapters, different facets, and different stages. And you may see things one way in one chapter of your life, but as the relationships evolve, you see things differently. Giving yourself permission to change or evolve in relationship allows you to enter into quality relationships with people that can help to support who you are and where you're going. If you don't give yourself permission to evolve in relationships, you'll find that many of your relationships come to an end faster because you're not being your true self, and they don't understand who you are, and they cannot support this facade of who you are. And so there's so many different layers to this conversation, and we will continue it in another episode, but we want to hear from you. Signs that you know that a friendship is coming to an end. Email us at welcome@thegreatgirlfriends.com. Share your friendship story. We want to hear more about it. We also want to offer you any support or advice that we can. And we want to let you know that you're not alone and that you are deserving of some bomb friendships who support who you are and where you're going. All right. Love you, great girlfriends. Have a marvelous Wednesday wherever you are. And do check in with your great girlfriends. Let them know you love them and that you are happy to be in their corner. Peace.
Hey, great girlfriends. It's me, Dylan. Welcome to the Motivational Minute. Today's quote is by Amy Tenay. It is, "The world needs strong women, women who will lift and build others, women who will love and be loved, women who live bravely, both tender and fierce, and women of indomitable will." I think this means that you should be yourself, and you have to make sure that you're strong, because Sometimes other people depend on you, but you can also depend on yourself to be yourself. This has been my Motivational Minute. Bye.
All right, great girlfriends. Did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast and the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group at The Great Girlfriends, follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends, and on Twitter at _greatGFS. I'm Sybil Amuti, and I'm out. Peace.
Yay Networks.